Hey everybody, welcome to Forest County, Pennsylvania and the Forest County Outback Channel, where we combine history with the outdoors. Now today, we are going to revisit Little Coon Creek. Now we've been on Little Coon before. We did a two-parter on the Fox Creek Junction. Today we're going to look at a different section of Little Coon where there are 4 sawmills, and we're going to talk about the narrow gauge Fox Creek Tram that ran up here, give you some history on that. So this is Forest County Outback number 40, Little Coon, narrow gauge and sawmills. Now we drove out to the end of the Jones Farm Road and parked, and we're walking down this road here. This used to be the road that came up from Nebraska to Guytonville. And of course, when the dam was built, the lower end of this road was shut off and it's been abandoned ever since. Now this is called Blackman Hill because in the 20s and 30s, there was an African-American fella who lived here. Of course, at that time they had a different term. But he had a cabin here, and when he passed away, as per his request, they brought him back here and buried him at his cabin site. Where that is, don't know. He's got an unmarked grave out here somewhere. So, down the hill we go. This is our road. And we're getting down towards the bottom here now. Now that's the road. And there's a clearing over here. And there had been a building here, and I'm not sure. It's possible that this could have been the cabin of the African-American fella, or it could be the site of the Yonk School. Yonk was a family that lived up at the top of the hill, and they had a school named after them. I'm not sure if this is the site or not. I do have a map which I forgot to bring with me, but there was some kind of a structure here at one time, and there's a lot of broken I may not be able to see it now. Yeah, okay, where this four-wheeler trail goes through here, there's a whole bunch of broken crockery and plates. Like, not crocks, but like dinnerware. Well, there are some pieces of crock over there. So this is where the road crosses the stream. See the remains of the bridge abutment, and of course we've got the car. This car actually used to be in a lot better shape. Back in the 70s, it was like actually. You could tell what make it was. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was pretty complete. But somebody pulled the drivetrain out of it Put the motor in the tranny. They used to have hood and fenders. If anybody has any idea year, make, and model of this car, go ahead and post it. I'm just kind of curious. Okay, let's go look for sawmills. We don't know if there was anything here or not, but we've got this trail coming up here, and it does not look like it's a railroad grade. So I don't think it's part of the tram road. But there's a trail here, and over here, it looks like this might be a man-made cut over here. I mean, I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. And then over on the other side of that hump, I want to show you what's over there. We've got the cut over here, which may or may not be man-made. But then over here, see how this area is cut out? I mean, like straight sides, 90-degree corner here. Now I say this because there was a lumbering operation up here operated by a man named Kepel and his sons. And I don't know, I have not been able to find a location for it, but this looks somewhat suspicious. And there is another site further up which might also be what they refer to as Kepel Town. And all I've been able to find is 2 photographs, which I'll show you here. I have not been, one is the boarding house and one is their teams. I have not been able to find a photo of the mill, which if they've got these photos here, there's probably a photo of the mill somewhere. So we don't know. Now up ahead here is the area I think most likely is Kepel Town. And get across the creek and upstream about 50 yards, and I will show you why I believe that is more likely than that place down below. All right, this is why I think that this was the site of Kepel Town, because there's a dam here. And it's snowing quite a bit. Cool. I like snow. But we've got like a flat area here that would accommodate a mill. Right up there by my poles are two square timbers, and it looks like there's another one down here. Got one here, and there's one over here, and that is a square timber. So it looks like some kind of a sluice way. If there's anything in the stream over here. Yes, there is. Okay. There's a big square, it looks like a square timber sticking up underneath these rocks. And that one, we don't know about that. That looks like it might go under there, and it looks like it was notched over here. And the other thing I can find out about Kepel Town is they had a store, a boarding house, and they hauled their lumber down to Nebraska. Probably actually took it down on the Fox Creek Tramway, and then they loaded it again onto Sheffield and Tynesta rail cars. There may be some other timbers right along down here too. Cool. So there's the dam. Over there, if you can see my pole sticking up, that's where that square timber is, those sluiceways. And then there's some more square timber over here. Fantastic setting, although back in the day it wouldn't look like this. There wouldn't be a tree standing here. You can see the mill would have extended out this way. And then right across here, you can see it looks like that was I mean, that looks man-made. That's too straight to have been natural. So there's the dam, and on a bank up above it is a level area here, but this was there was a lot of oil drilling in this area, and this had to be done for a well site, and it just has me wondering what was underneath here, you know. So how far over did that dam extend? So this would have been the area where the mill was, looks like the mill was sitting over there, that horizontal dark mark. That's where those square timbers are, that little sluice way. I think this may be part of the original dam, because it looks like it's up under the bank. I'll get closer and see, check out that notch. Rocks are slippery. Yeah, that looks like a notch to me. Okay, it's getting late. We got to be moving on. I got one more mill I want to check out. The last two are going to have to wait. We're going to take a minute here and talk about the Fox Creek Tram, because we're standing on a section of it. A lot of it is hard to follow because with the oil drilling and the stream changing course in that, quite a bit of it has been obliterated, but this is a pretty good section of it. So what it was a horse tram that originally extended from Nebraska up to Fox Creek, hence the name. Now, it was built by Teddy Collins in around 1870 or 71 when he bought the Nebraska operation, and it was used to bring logs down to the sawmill. And for the first several years, it was a horse tram. The cars were pulled up the hollow by horses and spotted, and then when they were loaded, they would be brought back to the mill coasting on gravity, and they would have a brakeman on there to control them, and that wasn't the best occupation to have. There was a lot of accidents. This was a widespread practice all over Pennsylvania in the lumber industry at that time, but there were a lot of accidents, a lot of fatalities. Now, in 1887, Collins finally bought his first locomotive. It was a 13-ton shay. came into Tynesta. Nebraska did not have a rail connection at that point to the outside, so it was brought into the Tynesta, offloaded, dismantled into 3 pieces, put on wagons or sleds or whatever, and then dragged by teams up to Nebraska where it was reassembled. And they, for the first several years, they only used it to haul empties up. They just replaced the horses and they continued to wildcat, which was kind of crazy. But it was a learning experience for Collins and his employees because this was their first locomotive. They didn't have it very long, and because of the rough track, it came off the track, rolled over, injured several men, and did a lot of damage. And the engineer, the guy's name was Frank Walker. And about 3 years later, he was in a serious accident. They would return to the mill light, that means pulling no car. So he was doing that one day, going down, and they were wildcatting a couple cars behind him. They were coupled together. There was a brakeman on a second car. Well, the coupling broke, so the first one ran away. Frank didn't hear it over the sound of the locomotive. All of a sudden, it rammed into him, pinned him against the boiler, and the whole thing ran away. The locomotive brakes wouldn't hold it, and it was out of control. He finally managed to extricate himself, and he jumped off, and he was quite seriously injured. He was off work for he couldn't work for like 6 months or so. And oddly enough, the locomotive stayed on the tracks. It got down to the flat and just ran out. And they finally discontinued wildcatting in 1895 when a brakeman named Tracy Lindsay was killed. And they were running 5 separate cars down here. Tracy was on the first car, and the second car ran away, went out of control, rammed into Tracy's car, which knocked him off onto the tracks, and subsequently the following cars ran over him. After that, they discontinued the wildcatting. I'm just like, what took so long? Because they'd had several injuries prior to that. Now, as far as we know, the Fox Creek Tram was in use until 1917 when the mill at Nebraska shut down, and it was eventually extended all the way out almost to Guytonville and up Pine Hollow and some other side hollows. And there was also, if you look at the previous video, the Fox Creek Junction ones, there was a logging camp at the Fox Creek Junction, and they hauled supplies up to there and to the other camps and that. So that's the Fox Creek Tram. So I have some photos of the Fox Creek Tram. This is the end at Nebraska, looking up Little Coon Creek. And this is a log train somewhere on the tram road. And another log train. This is the skidway on Tynesta Creek where the trains were unloaded, the logs were floated down the creek and across the other side to the mill. And this is the sad end of that 13-ton shay that they bought in 1887. It's sitting on a siding in Nebraska around 1940, rotting away. And like a lot of equipment at that time, it was gathered up for scrap for the war effort, World War II. And just a sad end. Okay folks, we've got to the next mill, and this is going to be the last one today. How do we know? If I have to tell you what that is, you must be new here. That is a boiler house. So let's look around. This was an operation. It was a partnership between Frank Watson and Teddy Collins, and ran, I don't know the years, you know, late 1800s. But so here's the boiler house. There's some kind of pit over here, and then let's see over here. Okay, hang on a second. Over here is the dam. Big timber up underneath the stone. And see those stone over there look like they were placed, but the dam was right here. Not a very big one, but it probably didn't have to be, because this wasn't a real big operation. I mean, it was respectable size, but it wasn't huge. Right, so here we are on the back side, and then now I'm crossing the stream here because I think I saw a timber over on this side, so I got to check it out. But hey, this is cool. See how the water's worked at. Yeah, I may not show, but there is a timber under there in the water. And that's a squared off. That's a plank, heavy plank, but it is a plank. Okay, so we're back on the right side of the creek here, and here's our boiler house, a pit over there, the dam is up there. Now the mill, I think, sat over here. You can see the outline of a building here. And we've got a cut stone here. And it looks like the building extended all the way down here. So that was a respectable size of a mill. And let's see, there was some other stuff. It kind of looks like there was some. See, there's a road coming through here. And it looks like there might have been some buildings over against the hillside here. Okay, so yeah. I don't know if the building shows, footprint shows up here from this angle. All right, not a bad day, except I have to slog back up the hill, but hey, we got 2, possibly 3 sawmill sites, a narrow gauge railway, a schoolhouse, and a classic car. Oh, we don't really know what that car is, but hey, Steve Magnotti, if you're watching, come on, help us out, buddy. If you didn't get that reference, there's a guy on YouTube called Steve Magnotti. He has a channel called The Junkyard Crawl, and he goes around and looks at all these old rusted out clunkers like that and tells you all about them. So yeah, you can help us out, bud. Anyhow, we have merchandise now. We have t-shirts, cups, hoodies, stickers, whatever. But yeah, I talked about a merchandise shelf in the past, but then I stopped talking about it because every time I said it was going to happen, it didn't happen because something else happened. Well, now it did happen, and it's there. It's down below here somewhere. So when I click on that, then check it out. And you know, I mean, who doesn't want Forest County Outback bling? Seriously. So buy some stuff, like, subscribe, share, comment, and yeah, we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.